Welcome, gamers, Valorant enjoyers, and lineup Larrys to day 2 of Stage 2 of Polaris. Stage 1 was an absolute banger. Yesterday's games were a banger and a half, so if my maths is correct, that means today's games are going to be bangers as well. I'm Janiro, your caster for today, and joining me on the desk to deliver some of this action is going to be Mr. MP himself. How are you feeling today?
I'm happy to be back. Yesterday, as you said, it was a banger, but it was quick 2-0s as we saw. I'm expecting more of an even battle for today. I'm hoping for that, maybe even 2 BO3s. That is absolutely what I'm going for today. I want to see some even Valorant. I don't want to see those dominations, even though they were fun to watch.
Very fun, very action-packed, but again, these teams, they want to win. They want to get in some points because they want to be heading to that playoffs to have that chance to actually go to the VCT Promotion Tournament. But how did they get there?
Yeah, it's a single round-robin format. 8 teams, 7 games each, played. Each team plays each team only once. There's only one shot to get that revenge or get that one win of that said team. Best of 3 matches. That is so good because you don't have this luck of maybe losing a map and then you lost the game. Also, 4 teams advances into the playoffs. It's a double elimination bracket. Last time we saw Excel climbing all the way from that lower bracket to the final win and all the way to the promotional tournament. So it's exciting. It's so exciting. And you need to get these wins at the start of the season because that builds your confidence and maybe brings you up all the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, for Excel, it's stopped at that promotion tournament, but you know what? It's stage 2. They're going to get a second chance, and so does every other team that is joining us for the rest of the split. But yesterday games, we saw Excel against Human Tripwires. That was the first game that we actually started things off with. And Excel, they are looking good. I don't want to talk about the Reyna. That is not something that I want to discuss. I don't even know how I feel about it at this point. But MP, this match specifically, Excel, the first map, it was a little bit, they came out swinging, they slowed down a little. The second map, they went for it. Breeze was just their hometown. They were really comfortable with it. What stood out to you the most?
Yeah, I think it was performance on Patitech. He was popping off, dropping 23 kills on this first map. Obviously, Split was their map pick, and it was the most even map. Then you go to Breeze, which is a map pick of Human Tripwires. Patitech is on a KO. He's like, nah, that 23 kills wasn't good enough. I'll drop 24 with this KO and 100 KAST, which means he was every round. He was either killed, got an assist, traded, or survived, and that is just insane on that Breeze. 13-2 for this Excel roster. They're looking so good.
Map number 1, we mentioned a Split. They came out with some quite interesting strategies, especially towards that attacking side of things. They really felt comfortable. You can really tell that the new IGL is definitely paying off. There was a lot of synergy that we were able to spot out, but then you go towards the defensive side of things, and that's kind of where we expected Excel to excel, but that's not what happened. It was the other way around. Match number 2, however, we had Hookars against Alliance. I think this was definitely one of the things that shocked a lot of, whether it was talent, whether it was people, cheering for these teams, because I'm gonna be honest, I voted for Alliance. I thought they were gonna win this, but Hookars, they said it, they're out for revenge, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah, absolutely. Hookars, they looked really good. Honestly, like dominating Alliance. Each map they had 6-round lead, 10-4. But then Alliance started to gain some rounds and started bringing it back. But Hookars was able to close the matches out. I think a lot of that you can bring to Enfist. You can credit him a lot because, like David said, they took those timeouts when they started losing matches, and Enfist was like, okay, we have to do a rush because their operator players creating a lot of pressure for us, getting a lot of information. That is exactly what happened, and they actually brought it back. They won. They didn't give any more extra rounds to Alliance, and here's some standings. Excel and Hookars, obviously, at the top right there.
Yeah, I don't think I would have expected to see Hookars at the top so early on, but again, it's quite early on in this stage of Polaris, so anything can happen. Excel pretty much used it at top 1, top 4 spots. They were comfortable in it last time as well. But then you look towards the bottom of the table, and we see Alliance. They've already been handed their loss, which is something that is completely opposite from what we saw last stage. Last stage were literally gone undefeated until that last match against Tundra. Didn't really go their way. They were handed that L. I was going to say W, wasn't a W, it was an L. It was a W for Tundra, that's for sure. And then they go into the playoffs, and they really lost some momentum that they were able to build off over the couple of weeks prior to it. So not really, things working out for them. And this time around, they have a completely new roster. They still have Cider and the coach to kind of built around. They have that Danish roster that we spoke about time and time again. And yes, we can see glimpses of how well they've gelled together. We can see glimpses of what they're able to do. But obviously, they haven't really had that time to put everything into practice and to take stuff from scrims into their games. And, they're just going to need a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days, matches, who knows, to really be able to show us what they are capable of doing. But that was everything yesterday. We have some pretty bangers coming up today. We're going to be starting it off with Heet versus Finest. And I think that's definitely one of the games to be looking forward to. And then the second game of the evening, we got H2O. They're going to be taking on Kova. Kova, towards the end of last split as well, they were towards that middle of the table. H2O, unfortunately, they had to go through those qualifications, and so did Heet. So what really stood out to you from both of these teams, considering you've had that opportunity to cast some of their games?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was amazing that H2O, I want to bring that first up, because H2O, they were one of these teams starting in the last season as well. They got down to the last two teams, and if they had 3 players from that roster, they could have been straight into that promotional tournament, but they didn't. They had only 1 player left, so they had to grind all the way through that qualifier. And it's impressive that they actually did. They managed to get through this new season with the whole complete new roster. Obviously, Jeff is the only one left there. But then Heet as well, they looked so dominant, just straight 2-0s, not dropping even a map. Was insane. Obviously, you have Echoes right there. Echoes having so much experience, bringing that into the roster is huge for Heet.
100 Thieves.
And yeah, we don't have to talk about that. That was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, from even Liquid and NIP, I think Echoes brings so much to this team, and it's just huge, bringing the experience that these rest of these players maybe do not have. Like Echo said on the announcement video, that a lot of these players might be asking or thinking, like, how do we combat this situation? And Echoes has already been through that situation from his previous teams. So that is huge for this upcoming season, going against teams like Finest in the first match and going against teams like Excel. I think Echoes brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, and we saw stage 1, Heet didn't even actually make it out of the qualifiers. They didn't even get into that group stage at all. They actually lost quite a lot of their matches. And then you swap out 1 player, you bring in Echoes, and you can already see how much his experience has impacted the team. They have a 100% win rate across every single map that they have played so far. They went 2-0 for every single one. So I think this might be one of those teams that is a definite strong contender for those top 4 spots. But I don't want to take away from Finest and Kova either. Kova, they're still sticking around with that exact same roster. They have no changes coming through. So I think that's definitely one of those teams that is going to be the most comfortable with each other, because whilst everyone else was rebuilding, they had all the time to just scrim and play together and get to know each other even better, get even more comfortable, work on their strategies. But then you look at Finest. They have the 3 core members. They have Machina, Bonkar, and Yasin left in the mix. But there's 2 new players added.
Yeah, and I think that might be kind of odd in the team, because you have Yasin, obviously. I think he's going to be the solo duelist in this team. Then you bring up Destructive as the controller. But one of the things I'm thinking, how does these flex players like Bonker, Machina, and Kicks fit in there? I think it plays as a strength, but it might be a weakness as well. Filling in, like Bunker and Machina, both of them have been playing a little bit of Sova. Kicks has been playing that Sky. So flexing to different agents could be hard, but also one of the strengths that I think overrate the cons right there is that if there's a new patch, if there's a nerf to an agent, it's easy for these players to flex onto different roles. And there's 3 players that can flex, like go to a Sage or go to that Sova Sky, maybe even have a duelist in Kicks. Kicks has been playing a little bit of that Reyna as well. I think there was one official that he played the Jet in as well. So I think they have good flexing capabilities in these 3 players. And when you have that controller and duelist in place, I think that's really good for Finest. and I think they might be a heavy contender for Heat.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, Talent is kind of discussing as well. We have those prediction ready and available to see who's going to be picking who. A majority are going for Heat. It does seem that there is going to be 2 outliers. Sam and Kramer, both of these are feeling that Finest has that opportunity and is a strong contestant to win this game. And I completely agree with you, MP, in terms of this might actually go all the way to 3-mapper. And then it looks like most people are also comfortable with Kova, just that one team that we really know what we can expect from them. We've seen them time and time again. They placed 5th under 10-star. It was just one more loss that they had. So they had a chance to make it up to that top 4, but unfortunately didn't do so.
Yeah, and I don't like this. I don't like that me and Naori Mizuki went for the different
Enjoy
picks.
the radiant symbol while you can.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope. I mean, I believe in Heat. I believe in Heat.
Okay.
I believe that I'm gonna be the one holding that radiant symbol with 4 predictions right. I do believe in my picks. Kova and Heat, please, I need this.
Do you believe in your picks, or are you trying to convince yourself, or are you trying to convince the street? What's going on?
I'm not sure. I'm on the edge. Yeah, I believe.
You believe?
Maybe.
I also believe that maybe you should be following the socials. They're going to be popping up right down on the bottom. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got Twitter. We even have a YouTube channel where you can be watching all the VODs. And if you're one of the players or maybe someone who's looking to play, VOD review, I think that's pretty strong. I think that's definitely something you might want to be looking into. But we're going to be looking into going to a very quick break, and we'll be back shortly. we're back. Genie and MP on the desk. We're going to be bringing you the rest of the action for today, and we're going to be starting it off with the first game. We got Finest versus Heet. Now, if anything, this might be one of those games that is going to be bringing the heat up, MP.
I see what you did there, and I hate it. I hate it here.
Already starting. 5 minutes in the broadcast.
Too early. No, I love that. Yeah, I think this match is definitely gonna be one to look out for. I think it's gonna be a 3-mapper. This is gonna be one of the most closest match. I mean, we have had 2 matches, but this is gonna be the closest match out of those 3 matches that are gonna be played. I think Heet and Finest, they're almost on the same level. I would push it a little bit over to Heet just because Eccles is on that team, so much experience, and I think this Heet roster is looking good. Like we said on that brief right there. Yeah. I think one of the most interesting things is that this Heet roster without Eccles, they have been picking this Ascent. They really like this Ascent. They've been having success in Icebox as well. And I'm kind of wondering where they want to go with this new roster. I've seen that they have been picking both Ascent and Icebox as well. So I think that might be one of the best things for Eccles if he can bring his all of his experience and talent into the maps that these rest of these 4 players are comfortable with. And I mean, going 3-0 in Ascent, 3-0 in Icebox, it already looks good. Obviously, they won 2-0 every one of their matches are in the qualifier stage, in the promotional tournament. So this team is looking really, really solid.
Yeah, they're doing good. Maybe they're picking the Icebox because the temperature is lower. Their heat, they bring up the it's like maybe it's like the equalizing thing. But Finest, that new roster coming through, they were previously known as Tundra in terms of having Yassine, Bonkar, and Machina on this one, and they're bringing in 2 new players. So we can also have a look at how Tundra performed last split specifically. They did pretty well for themselves. They went into that top 4 spot to go to the playoffs, and now you're sticking with the core 3. You're adding Kicks and Destructive to the mix. How is this going to be playing out?
Yeah, one of the things that I touched on, this could be really odd with the 3 flex players, but I think it actually helps a little bit of this Finest rosters. They have freedom with these different maps. One of the things that we saw a lot Finest do with having Griagon on that roster was playing that bridge a lot. Griagon obviously was that bridge main, so they played bridge in Breeze, Icebox. I think Ascent was one of the only maps with Bind that they didn't play bridge on, which is really odd that they actually pick it on Icebox and Breeze and maybe not on Ascent or Bind. So I think that is one of the things that we are not going to see from this new roster. I don't think we're going to see that bridge that often. Sure, I think players like Kicks, maybe Machina could flex on that bridge as well if needed, but I think what we are going to see more is maybe a Sky, maybe more flex role on these different agents. I hope we're not going to see that Yoru on Bind again. What do you think?
We don't talk about that. That never happened. What do you mean?
Yeah, it never happened, sure.
Yeah, but we also kind of know how the players are feeling about this. Specifically, we had that opportunity to have an interview with them, and we can be able to hear from what they're thinking and how they're feeling about the upcoming split.
Hello, Bonkar here, in-game leader for Team Finest.
Hi, my name is Yasin. I'm a duelist for Team Finest.
What will change for Split 2? I mean, we're a brand new team, and I would honestly say that a lot of things is going to change for this split because of the meta shift. Chamber is in the game, Jet is getting nerfed, etc. So it's going to be a lot of new different things.
Obviously, we have a whole new team now. We also have a new meta coming in. I think that will favor us a lot. We have Kicks, who's a great young player with a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of Leo when we found him back in the days. So definitely excited to see where we're going to go now.
I'd say our performance from last split was very underwhelming. We had a lot of difficulties within the team that we had to deal with, and I'd say we did the best we could with the cards we were dealt.
Obviously, our performance in Split 1 was not what we had planned. We kind of threw the bag, if you can say that. I was expecting us to reach all the way to Challengers. We did not. Could blame what happened within the team, but I will not. I'm just excited for this one.
Goal for split 2 for our team is this time we're winning it all. In our new roster coming in, I'd say look out for Machina on the Sentinel role and also Kicks, our young gun. I think he has amazing mechanical skill, also really nice game sense, and he's playing all of these Battle Bridge, Battle KO, Battle Sky playstyle. And also Machina is just a amazing chamber player.
Honestly, we're way more confident going into this split than we were going into the first one. I think the first one we're kind of stressed and, forced a little bit. Building this team has been way different. We've been having a lot of trials, taking our time, picking the right players, and focusing more on team chemistry, I feel like. So I'm honestly way more confident going into this split with these guys than I was before. Don't want to say too much. I'm just excited to see where we go.
Well, confidence is high, changes have been implemented, new faces have been picked up for this roster, and they even changed name their finest now, and really looking forward to what this team can bring as a whole, as a group. But is there anything from this interview that really stood out to you that you think we should be paying attention to when we're going into game later on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a little bit of insight how they're gonna play. Machina going for that chamber, Kicks being that battle Breach, Sky, and KO. I love that. Just going with that confidence, that young energy. You always see these youngsters just having so much confidence, having that insane aim, and you pair that with the KO or Sky, and you can pop fast goals wing wide. You have so much synergy with these players as well. I'm so excited what this finest team has cooking up for them. And Yasin being a duelist, obviously, is really, really strong. Yasin usually playing with that race. I think it's really good that they have the chamber. I don't think we're gonna see that much of a jet. I think it's gonna be chamber race combination that they will have here. I think that will be interesting. But one of the things that we have seen on Twitter right now, like this patch notes for chamber coming in, trademark actually getting nerfed. Only one of the trademarks you will have like on this upcoming patch, which is a really huge nerf for the Sentinel role. It maybe brings chamber into a duelist role a little bit. You only have one trademark, which is, I think it's really odd that they actually nerfed that and maybe not the rendezvous or something else for chamber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we're going to see, but for now, we're still going to be playing on the current patch, so the changes aren't actually going to be coming through. The teams are still going to be able to pull out the chamber, and Finest is going to have that opportunity to cook up some fine meals. No, I'm just playing with the words here, but unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately for them, their first game, it's going to be against Heet. Now, we kind of touched on this roster slightly, and we spoke about how they have implemented some changes. Eccles now added to the roster, and it's definitely looking like he's been bringing a lot of versatility, a lot of information, just a lot of experience to this roster specifically, and all in all, so far, they're looking incredibly strong. But is there anyone in particular besides Eccles? I know that's the easiest one to kind of pick out on that has really caught your eye, MB.
Yeah, I think King Oyen is definitely one of the players that I'm looking, the duelist for this team. There was Yuki in this Heat roster previously, but Yuki obviously went to Focus, kind of leveling up the team, going for that VCT spot with the Focus. And King Oyen, he has had so huge boots that he had to step in, and he's been performing amazingly. That is absolutely one of the players that I'm looking forward in this next match. Really, really good duelist and actually so smart. So I think King Goyen pairing up with Eccles in this team, these new additions, basically, I think is gonna bring a lot of value to this team. Obviously, you have Battle, Monstrum, and Remoy, the three core players in this roster. So I think this Heat roster are looking so solid. And Eccles, just yesterday, I think it was announced that he's actually a main roster player. He used to be a stand-in, but I think from qualifying in this group stage allowed him to get that position in Heat, allowed him to have that maybe have that choice that, okay, I'm gonna stick with this Heat roster. This looks really solid, and I'm happy to see what they can do.
Yeah, and you kind of had that chance already to see what Heat is capable of in terms of their map picks, in terms of that 100% win rate coming to get into Polaris specifically. So, looking at Finest, we can look at their previous performance on Tundra. They had that opportunity to play Fracture. It was something that they were comfortable with. They played it once or twice. Their highest win rate map was actually on Haven. They even brought out the Neon. I think that was where they 13-0'd Alliance. No, that was Alliance 13-0'ing 10 star. But
Yeah.
they did really well against Alliance on Haven specifically. They had kind of like as Tundra, as that 5-man, they knew what they wanted to do, but you still have those 3 members. Is that going to be impacting the map pool for Finest specifically and for Heat as well, considering that we've only seen them win so far?
I think one of the things that might go for the map pool is that breeze or bridge, that they don't have the bridge anymore. They don't have that main bridge. Obviously, I think they will stick it in the Haven, but maybe breeze and icebox will get dropped down from that map pool without the bridge.
Okay, well, let's have a look at how Heat feels about the upcoming games and how they feel about the roster changes that have been made.
I'm Monstrum from Heat. I play the flex role for my team.
My nickname is Element and I'm head coach for Heat Gaming.
When we got to the promotional qualifiers, we saw that like we still had the potential to win that too. So it was a pretty smooth run for us, I think. And I think like we've just started playing with Echoes, and I feel like we're like not even like 20% of what we could be, to be honest. So it was a pretty smooth run considering everything.
Since Caesar, me and Caesar, we are coming on 8 Gaming. It's like the team is really good now. They have a lot of potential. To be honest, for me, this 5 can become the 5 of tomorrow. And we are working hard for that happens.
I think we could do really well playing against other teams in Polaris. Like there's a lot of challenging teams in there, like XL and Alliance, but like not teams that are like out of our reach. You know, like they're definitely teams that we'd have to put up a good fight against. I think we have the potential to beat them. Like if we play well, and I think we will. I think we're going to have a good time.
I have a great feeling for the future. The objective is like top 1 in EMEA. For we will see, but for the moment we focus only on Polaris.
I think we'll work a cohesive unit, but Waddle is like can perform really well. Like he can pop off, like he's in the same player. So like definitely look out for Waddle.
My team is ranked individually. It's obvious. We need to be perfect for the next. If we want to reach the top, we have to not make the same mistakes. And from my perspective, we are close to the goals.
Our goals for the team would be to like perform really well in the group stage and to potentially win it. I feel like we have that potential, like I said before. So that would be the goal in Polaris is just to win it, is to win the whole thing. But as a team, I think it's to just improve like day by day, because we've spent only about a week together with this full roster, and like we're improving day by day, and you know there's no stopping us at this point.
Not even at 20% of what they can do, and they've actually been doing pretty well to get into this. Some pretty big high aspirations, dreams, hopes, and really looking to go for that VCT spot. And to be completely honest, it's not really something that we haven't heard before. XL are on the exact same path, and so is everyone else here. You know, you're not just coming here to get the top 4 spot to go into playoffs. A lot of teams, they want to go to the VCT Promotion Tournament and prove what they're made of. So MP, we've had a look at Finest, we've had a look at Heat. Your prediction was going to be that he was going to win the game. We even kind of just spoke a little bit more about the map picks. Are you still feeling comfortable with your prediction, or do you think you might be losing that Radiant symbol?
I mean, I'm still feeling the Heat. I'm absolutely...
No. You can't do that. You can't do it twice on broadcast. That was canceled.
I'm absolutely sticking with Heat. I think they look really solid, and yeah, I think we looked a little bit in these map picks, and I'm kind of not sure what we are gonna see. I think Heat is gonna pick Ascent. If Finest is not gonna ban it, but I think we go Icebox if Ascent is gonna be banned. Then I'm not quite sure where Finest will go. Maybe in that Haven that you mentioned. Maybe even Breeze. They had 77 win rate on Breeze. Sure, they had that Breach back then, but I think they could switch it up with that Sky maybe even bring a KO instead of that Breach, and they could still have a good sense of how to play that map, a good sense of how to actually do those aggressive pushes, hold those mids, push mid on defensive side as well. And I think that was one of the strengths that Tundra had in Breeze, especially playing against teams like Alliance in that map.
Yeah.
They were pushing, they were showing some aggression. But I think this Heat roster, they have a good sense of Breeze as well. If we go there, I think this Heat roster might punish those pushes.
Do you want to find out?
I'm
Do you want
absolutely
Genie
thrilled.
to make your dreams come true and show you which maps we're going to be looking at?
Please.
Genie in a bottle. We have the map features graphic should be popping up right about now, and we're going to be heading in to Split, Ascend, and Bind. No Breeze, not something that Finest felt comfortable playing on, as they're the ones who were banning it out.
Damn, that is interesting. I think it plays a lot of not having that bridge, not having the Kriagon on the bridge, and them not wanting to play that bridge in Breeze. I'm not quite surprised by the split. I think it's a decent pick for them.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good considering that you have kicks on the team. Ascent, yeah, kind of obvious pick for Heat. They like to pick this Ascent. I think promotional tournament, they picked it twice when they had the chance. Bind as well. This is good for Heat as well. 1-2-0. They weren't playing that well in Bind on the previous roster when Misfit was IGL, but I think coming into this matchup, both of these teams are not looking that good on Bind, so it's going to be 50-50 in my opinion when going onto that 3 maps, and I think we're going to go all the way there.
Do you think we're going to be seeing a Euro on Bind again?
I hope not. I hope not.
Okay, well.
I think, well, if they have something better for the Yoru, I think the Yoru right there, when we saw Bunker play it had only one purpose: play in that B-long position, make those TP plays, at least on the defensive side. And if they're gonna do that again, Heat is gonna read it in like 2 rounds like that. And there's not going to be much use of that Yoru. Sure, it can cause some confusion, some chaos in that map because of the TPs, but I think you have to have so many strategies in that Yoru, so many set plays when you come into that bind, and I'm not sure if they actually want to go for it.
Well, a Polaris game and a split map being picked. Name a better combo. We've seen it yesterday twice. We're seeing it today for the first map as well. So let's start focusing on that one specifically. So for Heat, we haven't really seen them play split in the open qualifiers. If I'm correct, please do correct me if I'm wrong. However, for Finest, looking at Tundra previously on split, they only had a 33% win rate during the entirety of Polaris Stage 1, which was 1 win and 2 losses. So how are you feeling about this map coming through for both of these teams?
Yeah, I think it's kind of mystery. He played 1 map of split, they won that, but it wasn't the cleanest. I think it went all the way to OT, or it was like 13-11, something like that. So it wasn't the cleanest. And I think from that, Finest has something that they might see from Heat. Yeah, I think this is going to be like a 50-50 mix, and if Heat picks up this split, I think they are heavy favorites on winning this 2-0. But I think Finest, if they want to win, they have to win this split. Maybe they have something cooking up here. Obviously, they haven't shown their new strats with this 2-player addition, so there might be some new cooking up. I think they might have
hungry,
something
MP?
surprising. Absolutely, I need to eat.
Cooking up?
I'm always hungry.
Hungry for that Valorant action.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think Finest, they probably have something right there. Maybe the Chamber race. Obviously, Yasin with that race split is one of the best maps for that, so that could be good for Finest.
Yeah, and I think like split specifically, it's very standard in terms of how teams execute it. You said it yourself yesterday as well, MP. If, you know, Hookars, they've been together for a while, but then Alliance kind of felt comfortable picking that split because individual performances do count. But I think yesterday, one of the like pitfalls that we saw from both teams, from actually all 4 teams, if we're being completely honest, from both games, was that mid control. A lot of the time, rounds would genuinely be won or lost based off of trying to get that mid control so heavily to the point where teams were in both games running down the clock to 10 seconds. And then what are you going to do? So I'm really hoping that both of these teams don't actually end up making that same mistake. I think, yes, mid control on split, of course, is very important. You really want to get that. It's going to give you quite a lot of potential and pressure to play with. But at the same time, like, for example, what we saw Human Tripwires do yesterday was they would commit 4 of their players and all their util towards mid. Excel would bait it out, and Excel would be like, okay, you know what, guys? It was just a joke. you thought we're not going to go mid, we're going to wrap around, and then the human tripwires was left with absolutely nothing. So I'm really hoping that's not going to be the case today. I'm hoping that these teams have some more strategies coming out. We saw the judge as well in male. I don't even want to talk about that. Like, that's like, whatever. But when going into this map specifically, besides that mid control, what else can Heat or Finest do to ensure that they're the ones to be grabbing that win today?
I mean, Split is one of those maps that, at least on the defensive side, if you're not going for that mid control, if you're not going for maybe those heaven choke points, you have to go for aggression on B main or A main. Get some information a little bit deeper than from those mains, or just lock down those mains. And I think that is exactly what we're going to see from the chambers. I hope there's going to be, I will expect that there's 2 chambers. I know that Heat played Cypher on these maps. Oh, that could be a thing, but I would hope that they would switch on that chamber. I think that would be better. But obviously, if they run the same double duelist composition, I don't think the chamber might be the best idea. But I think one of the things that Finest probably will do if Machina is going for that chamber is that they will push out on those mains. Maybe they will push like on that mid like we saw yesterday. Maybe they will go for that mid control, but if you don't go for that mid control, you have to have those choke points, and you have to have some information on mains. And I honestly think that is exactly what these teams are gonna do.
Yeah, well, we're going to be figuring out whether or not your chambers, plural, are going to be correct. And
Neon?
Neon, okay. Cypher, like, Chihuahua himself didn't play Cypher yesterday. Like, Mr. Chihuahua went for Reyna, but, Remoy seems to be going comfortable for that. We're seeing the breach coming through from Bonkar. We've seen Bonkar play breach multiple times as well last stage. So, I'm not too surprised by Finest's composition, but the Neon, what is going on?
Yeah, it seems like Heat is going for a really off-meta composition, in my opinion. The KO and Neon both are like kind of odd in this map, especially when you have the breach. I wouldn't expect a KO here. Maybe a double duelist would be fine, but I think that KO could be really good when you put the Neon, when you put those like fast pushes coming in the side. You have the paranoia, you have the fault line, but you have those flash drives as well. So I think that KO breach Omen utility could come so huge for Heat. But I think one of the things that they are doing right here is kind of gambling all of it to the Neon, and I'm not sure if I like that. Obviously, on the other side, Finest, you have more traditional comp, you have that chamber. So I think I like Finest's comp a little bit better, but we have seen these random comps, off-meta comps, surprising, and I'm absolutely sure that he could do it with Echoes, obviously, there, IGLing.
Okay.
So
that's a lot of faith that you're putting into Heat and their pick of Neon. Heat is going to be starting on the defensive side of things, and that's kind of where I'm assuming, going to have to be pushing out aggressively. You have that Neon available, you have that KO, can throw out the flash drive, you can push out aggressively, try and get a couple of picks. It worked out yesterday for XL in a couple of rounds. Are you expecting the same playstyle to be coming through from the side of Heat on that defensive side? Just push out aggressively, get a couple of picks, retreat, wait for them to push into you? Or are you more expecting that Neon to be playing in terms of traveling between sites, because she does have that speed boost?
I think they have to play more aggressive on mains, at least. They don't have that Sage, so mid control could be really, really tough to gain. So I think they will play some aggressive pushes on mains, but one thing that they have that stopping power. When Finest is gonna start pushing to the sides, Heat have so many stuns. Neon, you have double stun, you have the fault line on breach, you have flash drives, you have that KO dagger, Molly, the fragment. You have so much utility to stop those pushes. So I think they don't necessarily have to push, but I think that's exactly what they should do on at least few of these rounds, just to surprise Finest, just to get some ground, get some information. And I do think that they're going to do some aggressive pushes. I'm interested to see how they're going to hold that mid control. Is it going to be with the flash drives? Are they going to pop out of the smokes with the flash drive? Are they going to use that fault line, breach flashes, neon stuns maybe? I think that's one of the things that I'm looking for, and they're actually placing 3 players really close to mid on this pistol round already.
Yeah, we're going to be starting it right off. And so far, not a lot of aggression to be detected. I think 3 players mid, that's something pretty standard. You're having the Cypher solo on a site, again, has a util available to be able to tag out a couple of players, but what can I say, MP, let the action begin.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like, yeah, like I said, a little bit of a default from Finest side. Yasin, Machine on this A side, just trying to get some control. Remo obviously holding that A side, and Heet on the other side just prepping for this mid control. You see Flash Drive on the hand, Paranoia on the hand. But maybe this vent is open.
Yeah, Yasin does seem to try and go for it. He's not going to connect that shot after a while with Remoy. Takes on the other side. Is also going to be able to take Echoes out of the equation, though that's already numbers advantage secured from the side of Finest. Make that a third one going down. The util is going to allow Kinguyen to push out aggressively. Waddle holding his hand by his side. 2 picks coming down from the side of Heet.
That spike.
They have the spike, and they have another player. So all they have to do is hug the spike, hold on to it. As Machine has only one left standing in this 1v2 scenario. It's gonna be spotting out the Ponytail, trying to give Kinguyen a trim, but it doesn't actually work out. It's gonna have to swap to the Classic. Gets one though.
30 seconds left.
Now it's a bit of an awkward situation, but Kinguyen, calm under pressure, collected, finishes off the round. Pistol secured by Heet.
What? That was a 2 versus 5. That was literally a 2 versus 5, and Heet, they got that blessing. They got the spike down in
The
mid.
blessing.
I think it was Bunker holding that spike right there. And when they kill Bunker and kicks right there, it's pretty much a free round for them. Enemies just gonna run into you. I love how Kinguyen is sliding with that Neon. I play quite a lot of Neon. I have an account that I played Neon only, all the way to Immortal, so I like to see this Neon plays. I think at least in competitive, the Neon on Split is really good.
Well, I guess so far it's working out for them. They kind of did get that blessing, you know, that little gift coming through, the spike being dropped right in front of their noses, and this time around, Heet once again starting it off strong. 1 player already down. They just keep walking into Waddle's crosshair. Guys, he's still there. I'm not sure if you want to dry peek that. They have those Spectres, superior firepower coming through, working out in their favor. Yasin in a bit of an awkward scenario, and once again, the spike has been dropped in Heet's lap. For free.
One enemy remaining.
Waddle just waiting here. Doesn't quite connect to Bunker with 5 HP. He's gonna take him down by Kinguyen. I mean, first 2 rounds you can't really judge anything from that. Finest, they were looking so good at the start of the round, but then on the pistol, but then he just coming that back. Now we go into a buy round, and Kinguyen actually investing for that Phantom for a 0 right there. And if he gets only 1 kill with that Phantom and then dies, he already has ulti for the next round. And Waddle with that Rolling Thunder coming in this round, this could be a 3-0.
And that's where things are going to start getting scary if that actually does work out their way. Aggressive push coming through from the Neon. Kinguyen already quite behind enemy lines. Isn't going to quite connect. Bunker going to be able to take him out, and that's the Phantom that we spoke about dropped, and another player goes down. Waddle looking to secure some trade, some form. Getting back to a teammate, but it's Remoy who's going to be finding the first contact. Kicks does put Waddle out of his misery, and now it's only 2 players left from the side of Heet. That Phantom is gone. They have some Spectres. Vandal picked up by Remoy. Is going to get that well-deserved upgrade, if I do say so myself. The players from the side of Finest, low on that HP. Sage does have that heal available soon, so he's going to be able to put them back. Barrier Orb is going to give them safe passage onto site. They're forcing Heet into that retake scenario.
Spike planted.
Okay, I see a Heet. They like to take that mid aggression with the Neon like really fast. That is one of the things that they probably have to their advantage, taking the mid control really fast. Eccles, Remoy, both probably gonna go for it. As low HP players on the side of Yasin and Bunker. They can do some damage on this Finest economy.
Paranoia isn't going to quite connect. It's going to give the members of Heat some opportunity to move forward. Echoes finds 1. That's what he's going to be able to do. The Remy with the trade. Ooh, a little shaky with the spray. Bonkar is going to be able to finish it off, but they're only going to be holding on to 2 out of their 5 rifles.
Yeah, that is absolutely not the thing that they want to go for. Only 2 rifles, this huge economy damage. Good read from Finest. Being so far back, they know exactly what this Neon is capable for. In that mid, they saw that wall and instantly like, yeah, let's stay back. There's probably gonna be stuns, flashes coming in. And that is exactly what they did. Playing for the utility, playing for enemy to peek you. That is really, really good from Finest. One of the things that they can't really contest it this mid early. If Heet keeps bringing that utility there, Finest, they have to use so much to just even get this mid control.
Yeah, they're already going to be spotted out, and you're going to have to wait just a little longer. Nate's going to come through, looking to clear some vents. Not going to quite connect to him a satchel out, but Kinguyen's already found the pick of his own. They're going to be walking into ESC's crosshair. It's only going to be good for one, as a trade is going to be coming out from Waddle. Numbers are dwindling quite quickly across the map, and they haven't even decided where they want to take the spike yet.
Yeah, destructive, trying to find something, but the smoke blocking all of the vision. Has to group up in mid with Kicks and Machina. Machina trying to build something, trying to find something right here, but look at those positions in Heat. It's really, really hard to find anything.
Yeah, they're not giving them their isolated 1v1s. They don't want to go for those peaks. Barrier Orb is going to be blocking out at least Monstrum for a little longer, but you already have Waddle holding that drop. If they're going to be coming down, they're going to be walking into his crosshair. It's just a matter of patience. Monstrum is going to be walking around. He's not going to be able to see Machina just yet. The smoke is going to cut off those lines of sight. Going to be able to get 2 members.
Last player standing.
And now it's just Remoy by himself onto A site. He's going to have to go for that 1v2 and going to rotate all the way around because his util is on the other side of the map.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, really risky play from Monstrum. Trying to sneak into the smoke, and I think Machina just barely saw the head of the gun barrel. And now it's Remoy. Only one alive, 1-on-1 versus 2. Machina with full HP Kicks. 90 HP left.
Clutch kick. That's a bit of a difficult scenario, as a Clutch is going to be taken down, and that's worrying because this time around Heat, they have had that opportunity to buy their rifles coming into this round, but it actually didn't work out for them.
Yeah, Heat actually losing out that second or 4th round rather is huge for them. It's huge for Finest because Finest now is able to bring that ulti economy into play as well. Bunker having that Rolling Thunder, Yasin already close to Showstopper, Kicks already close to Resurrection, Machina having that tour de force for next round is huge as well, bringing up that economy in the game for Finest. And Heat, they need to start
Turning up the heat.
yeah, absolutely. That's third time.
Sorry, we were gonna stop. That's the last one, you know. But it was a perfect way to use it. Also, going to be coming through. It's even gonna force Nguyen to push out aggressively. He's gonna get knocked up in the way. Relay Bolt's gonna come through. He's not gonna quite connect. You see, he's actually gonna be able to pick off those kill. That's gonna give him the showstopper. It's gonna come online. Monster being dropped by Machina as well, and all the util that was thrown at Finest actually ended up working out in their favor. Waddle taken out by that showstopper. Remoy does find 2 with the Sheriff dropped as they're trying to drop from heaven, but they're gonna be able to get the plant down, and he's the only one left with 23 HP. Never mind, he's taken down as well. What a beautiful round coming through from Finest.
Yeah, good reaction from Bunker into that Rolling Thunder, using his own Rolling Thunder, and Yasin in a really, really awkward position, fully stunned in double Rolling Thunder, and that relay bolt as well. Still somehow gets Kinguyen taken out there, pulling out the showstopper right after there, getting a pick from that. And also, I think it was Machina lurking around mid was huge. Just stopping those rotations in the side. Obviously, Heat getting a good amount of damage. 2 rifles out of Finest bank on the economy round is good, but still, it's a good round from Finest. Really, really good reactions right there.
Yeah, absolutely ready for those ultimates to be thrown at their face. The overdrive, the rolling thunders. Eve ends up playing in their favor, and that's a beautiful one-way coming through from Remoy onto B site. It's gonna start off by taking out Yasin, and those satchels, those nades, no longer available from the side of Finest. You're gonna have to, I guess, recalculate where they want to go, or now that res is available, it's gonna be coming through right away. And all the hard work that Remoy had put in is no longer bearing its fruits.
That's a good resurrection. Actually able to fall back right there. Look at Machina. Just trying to find something. Waddle is there, but tour de force. We have seen this before.
Ooh.
It's brutal, but not right now.
It kind of like just put the breeze past his shoulder. It missed just about, and it's gonna miss again, giving Waddle the opportunity to get that tour de force out of the game. 30 seconds on the clock, and it seems to be an A hit. The members from Heet, however, haven't rotated just yet. They're more than confident holding on to their positions and playing that retake, which so far hasn't actually worked out.
Eccles prepping that paranoia as well, holding that one kill. Maybe able to find more. 10 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Monstrum is also wrapping around. They're going to be able to take Eccles out, but they have to go down for the plan now. This is exactly what they're going to be doing. Monstrum finds the first, Waddle the second, and now Bonkar is left in an awkward scenario that he's going to have to play out. Yes, he has that spike down, but the util's being thrown at him. They know where his position is. All they have to do is wait. They still have more than enough time on their end, and that is the pick coming through. And the defuse for Heet, they're going to be equalizing it 3-3.
Yeah, that's important for Heet. Just delaying long enough that there's 25 seconds on the clock until Fina starts pushing on the side. It's really, really tough. Eccles on the side without even using or hasn't used his paranoia quite yet because there's no pressure on that A side at the start of the round. Eccles just holding that paranoia. I think double smokes were up as well. It's really, really good. So much utility to stop that spike as well. In the end, Bonker gets the spike down, but after that, it's a 3 versus 1. Bonker, 33 HP. There's not much that he can do right there. Seems like King Goi, and once again, going for a bit of aggression in mid, but actually just faking it.
Yeah, the reliable. It's gonna connect. It's gonna push them off a little bit, but again, Fine is really looking for that mid control.
That is dangerous spot for King Goyen. It could pay off, but this time Kicks is there to check it before Machine comes to the crosshair. Machina getting some ground in heaven as well and getting a second pick in this round. Starting to look good for Finest.
Yeah, Paranoia is going to come through, but it's not going to do much as Machine and Yassine pick up one apiece. Ramoy does come through with the trade, but that's all he's going to be good for. Leaving Monstrum once again to his own devices by himself in a 1v5 scenario that he's going to have to play out if he wants to take this win, take this round. And it's concerning because this time around Heet, you know, they have these guns available, they're able to buy. It's going to find one. Knife is going to come out as well as the flash drive. He does have some information as to where they might be, but the nade is going to slow him down even longer, and they're just not peeking. That discipline coming through from both of these teams has really made it so much more difficult to play these retake scenarios for these teams. And Finest, they are going to be climbing up one round, and Heet not looking too good.
Yeah, and good setup right there, holding that CT in 2 different positions. Quite good position. You can't really challenge the other position without the other position seeing, and that is exactly how you want to play those 2 versus 1. So we saw Finest kind of butchering the first round right there, 5 versus 2, but this time they're like, no, we're not gonna throw this. And actually surprising that Monstrum doesn't see Machina right there. Machina was 20 HP, could have gotten that kill, doesn't quite connect, and once again Heet with the low by 1 judge and few series right there. It's looking tough for Heet. Finest looking good on this attacking side, but this could be the same story as yesterday. We saw these attacking sides be really good and people having some struggles on the defending side.
Yeah, the defensive side not really working out from the side of Heet, and it's a little concerning, but again, they have that Neon pick available. We expected them to be pushing out aggressively, and if we did, then Finest would have expected the same. A bit of a bloodbath in mid as 2 players are dropping, make that tree as the judge is finally going to be coming through from the side of Ramoy, taking the raise out of the picture. They still have the rest of their players, but it's going to allow them to put that neural theft online, and it's going to give away information as to the fact that it's going to be an A-side hit. The spike has already been planted. And once again, Heat, they have to play this perfectly. The teleport's going to come through, but he misses the shots! Waddle is waddling and it's not landing any of them. He's gonna have to back off. Destructive is gonna be getting away. Machina, however, on the other hand, he is not gonna be missing much, and neither is Destructive as they're taking down the remaining members of Heat. And Ramoy is left to clean up.
Waddle doesn't quite connect those shots. Fairly easy shots. But sometimes it's impossible to hit when Omen Shrouded steps there. Somehow it's so impossible to hit that. It's almost like Cypher without a hat or something like that. And Waddle doesn't connect. That could have changed the round completely. That would have put them in the 3 versus 3, but still, Machina was in a so good position, but it was so hard for King Koi and Remo to just push through that smoke. I think in the end, Finest was on top of that round anyway, but Heet, with 3 rounds, they need to start getting something. This defensive side is usually the side that favors on split.
Yeah.
It's not quite often that the attacking side is this good as Finest is showing right now.
Yeah, Finest more than comfortable rotating around the map, starting off with those picks, and they're even more than comfortable waiting for Heet to be pushing out aggressively and actually punish them for that aggression. It's happened time and time again, and it seems like Heet are gonna have to change up the script because it's not working out for them, and they're losing rounds that maybe they shouldn't have lost. That 4th round specifically, they were finally able to buy up, and Finest not having as good of an economy going into it. But Heet...
Off your feet!
That is a Rolling Thunder being invested in the stage. Barrier Orb is going to be blocking out Waddle. Yes, he is going to be more than comfortable running onto site. And there are a couple of players waiting. Ramoy finds the first. Does the entry duelist gone from the side of Finest? The Spike, however, seems to be going through vents. They won't feel more than comfortable going to A site, and it looks like Heet, they've learned from Finest shenanigans. They're aware of how they want to play this. 30 seconds left. Paranoia is going to force Monstrum out of his position. He's going to give it away. Smoke's going to cut him off a little. Overdrive is going to be activated, as well as a Rolling Thunder. And as they're trying to drop out of heaven, Monstrum is absolutely ready. Echoes finding the last player in vents as he suspects the imposter. That's a flawless going through from Heet.
Not again, not this.
No, last one. It's split. You have to make one joke.
Yeah, it's fair. But yeah, those beautiful Rolling Thunder from Waddle just feeding his teammates. Look at this. Destructive flying there, kicks flying there from that Rolling Thunder. It's so easy for Monstrum to pick them off. And Echoes going for the last kill in vents as well. Yeah, like you said, the imposter was found right there. Look at this. Look at this from Finest. They don't want to go contest that mid at the start of the round. They are sitting so far back. Yeah, Machina still from sewers, starting to get some ground in mid. Trying to look for some picks.
And even though Finest isn't going to be pushing for that mid aggression or the mid control, instead Heet are pushing out aggressively onto sites. They already have someone pushed up quite far forward on B, and they don't want to push too aggressively on mid because it hasn't really worked out for them yet. But that is the nade coming through from Monstrum as well. It's going to clear out just a bit more of that space as they've already taken down one player. Yes, seeing the first one to fall to the crosshair of Monstrum. The rotations are going to be coming through, but that was a little too early coming from Waddle as he gets taken out by Bonkard. A barrier orb once again, shutting Monstrum out. But Echoes has found such an impressive position. But when you decide to drop from heaven, he's going to be clicking your head.
Yeah, Echoes playing this main position is crucial for Heet. Look at Finest trying to find Echoes there. Kicks not finding anything. Machina though gets one pick. Echoes gets a second. Bonkard the only one alive.
Yes, stuck between a rock and a hard place. You're either going to have to go for Echoes or the rest are going to be coming from behind. And it seems like Echoes is the one that's going to be taking this one. The Fuse is going to come through. Equalizing the scoreline. Heet have definitely found how they want to play this game in the last couple of rounds. They seem much more put together. But again, it's Finest. They're going to be able to adapt just as quickly as you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Heet evening out the score to 5. I like how they bringing Echoes into this round in B main. Echoes pushing up right there. They know that Finest, they like to go for that mid control. They don't really contest that B lobby too much, and Echoes takes advantage of that. He knows that there's not too much of contests coming through in B main, and he knows exactly when to push in. And that was the crucial part of that round. Echoes being able to get that one kill and separate a few of the players allowed his teammates to just push up onto the side and clear up the rest of the team.
Yeah, Tour de Force is going to be popped and is not actually going to be suppressed this time around, so they waited a little longer. It's something that Monstrum's been doing time and time again at the beginning of the round, throws out the knife, tries to find some information, suppress a couple of these members, and it seems like Finest, they're adapting. Shots going to be coming through from Machina. It's not going to quite connect, but his location is completely revealed. He knows that two players are going to be onto the A side. At least he's seen Monstrum. He has that util that's been used by Ramoy. In the meantime, Kinguyen has been pushing out so aggressively. Relay Bolt isn't going to quite connect to Destructive. He's going to have to run away for dear life. Suppression is even going to take the Tour de Force offline for now. That Showstopper is looking to clear as much space as possible on site.
Does she get it off on the reload? And yes,
He did
that
the
is
boom.
beautiful. And Waddle with the trades. Yasin in a really good position. Connects onto Monstrum. Does he go for more Echoes? Really close, and this stun is beautiful for Echoes. He doesn't spot him.
Hiding behind the Sage Orb. It's gonna get Fine as an opportunity to clean out every single member for Heet. It was looking so good until it wasn't. And that positioning from Yasin has just won them this round.
Yeah, absolutely. Thing that Echoes, he has to clear so much. He doesn't know if Yasin is stunned or not. Absolutely. Yasin just playing that to perfection. First on the close corner, then falling back to a little, just small position behind that Sage wall, and finding the second kill right after the stun burst off. And look at this. First, really, really aggressive round from Finest, just pushing into this A side. Is it too much?
Is it too much? The Boombot is doing an oopsie. It happens, you know, sometimes. But this happens too, you know, Bonkar just takes your head up at the beginning of the round when he's playing Breach, and is gonna be giving Finest once again an advantage in terms of numbers. But we've seen Heat, we've seen them come back, and they've actually wrapped around completely. They're gonna start off with taking out Yasin. They know where they're gonna be pushing from. The location has been revealed, but the flash is so good coming out from Monstrum. It's gonna give him the opportunity to get 2 picks. Waddle gets the 3rd, and now Kicks with the spike down. Only one left, has the high ground with the barrier, but it's not gonna be enough, as the defuse is gonna have more than enough time to come through, and Waddles and Echoes remain.
And Waddle brings himself back from that whiff a couple rounds ago.
We don't talk about that.
Utility. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. Good utility usage from Waddle, getting that last pick right there as well, getting the chamber out of the round. Allows them to go comfortably in this side. And Kicks in a really, really annoying position. You can't really check that position when you come into the site, or you really don't check that position, but Waddle goes for it and sees Kicks right there. There was the second guy really close to trade as well. If Waddle would have died, I think that looked like a Heat round, even if Waddle would have died right there. 6-6. It's a scoreline that you can come back from, but definitely favoring Finest right now, going on the defensive side. I want to see how the Neon is played on this attacking side. It seems like Pistol at least going for that mid control.
Yeah, Machina this time around with the rest of Finest pushing out aggressively, something we've expected them to do, specifically when it comes towards that mid control. Not going to be spotting out any players as of yet. They know that at least a Sage is going to be mid. They have that barrier orb that's been put up. Finest, they're just holding on to their position. They're waiting. They're patient.
4 players in B garage. 5th one coming. 3 players waiting for this push. This could be really bad for Heat. Kinguyen finding the first pick.
Yeah, Paranoia is going to be coming out as well. It's not going to connect with any of the players, and now they lose their entry frag. Kinguyen, yes, found one, but the trade is going to be coming through right away. They're going to be walking into the crosshairs. Destructive finds the first, Machina the second. The third is going to be coming through. The right click from Kicks is going to take down the last member, and Finest win the pistol round on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, this is one of the things that is really hard for Heat's attacking side. Attacking that B main, or B side rather, is going to be tough. They don't have the Sage wall for that cross. They have to use like a Cypher Cage or Neon wall when going in the side. And you can always push through that. You can drop like a flash to the wall, to the tower right there, and you can push through the wall. The Neon Wall doesn't even do damage anymore on this patch, so it's gonna be really tough for Heet to go for these straight side attacks. I don't think they're gonna go for them. I think they're gonna control this mid more. Maybe A side could be something that they could go for, but I think that B side is gonna be tough if they want to go straight forward.
It didn't work out in their favor once, but again, the A side, a lot of util put down as well from the side of Finest. So Heat, they need to figure out how they want to play this, because the Neon on the defensive side, yes, there were a couple of early picks that King Nguyen was able to take, but that's about it. Most of the time, Finest was ready and they were able to get the trade to come through. So you lose 1 for 1, you're equalizing the playing field. And the Neon, that's kind of what she excels at, just going in and out, having that speed come through, and taking that out of the picture straight away, it's a little worrying for Heat.
That's good utility coming in, but 2 players already holding here with the Spectres, with the better weapons. Last 2 players in new box. Awesome. Getting 1, but that is all that they can get from this round. Yeah,
sorry,
something
I
that
blinked.
Heat can... yeah. Something that Heat can do on this B side is probably play a contact play, and from that, using the utility could be good, but even if they would do that, they would need some presence in mid, break the wall in mid, maybe do some lurk on A from Remoy. I think it's really, really tough to just walk in on that B. Now, on the gun round, it seems like they're focusing all of their powers into this A side. 2 players already holding this and flash in hand.
Barrier orb also put up. It's gonna give them even more of these orbs to farm, only a couple of points to actually have that resurrection online, and it's worked out quite well for Kix last time when he was able to bring Yasin back from the dead, so looking to utilize that once again on the defensive side. And this is something that actually I want to point out Heat hasn't done much of last round, specifically when they were on that attacking side. They didn't have that stage wall to give them the safety to go for these orbs. Instead, it's gonna be a firing brigade trying to force their way onto A. And they're going to be walking right into Kix crosshair. Eccles, a bit of a mispositioning coming through, and they do punish Kix for it. But Bonker is going to be given that opportunity to reposition as the Cypher cage does drop. Going to be able to take him out. The relay bolt isn't going to quite connect. King Green has found his way onto site. It's going to be knock up for Yasin. Waddle looking to take the pick. It's going to be able to play off of that perfectly. And now Destructive, he's got a lot of destruction to do if he wants to make this work.
Oh, it looked like the lockdown in A main was perfect, but all of a sudden Gingoyen going for 2 picks. I think it was Remo who found the 3rd player in bunker. Destructive. Last one alive. Gingoyen finishing up with 3. That is exactly what Heat needs. 2 guns lost. It's not too bad. When you lose 3 guns, that could get dangerous. That could mean that you won't have full rifles for the next round, but 2 guns should be fairly easy. Echoes, maybe a little bit too confident that Kix wouldn't be close there, but I appreciate the play. I appreciate the play.
It happens, you know? You live and you learn.
Absolutely.
And he learned that maybe that shouldn't be a play to do it. Everyone on stream also learned that maybe don't do that.
Maybe combo that with the breach flash on the corner, so you might get a free pick on Kix.
Okay, 5 head. Destruction's gonna be able to try to step out of that relay bolt. Fast lane's gonna be coming up. It's gonna give them some control of mid, and as I say that, the slow with the nade is absolutely terrifying to be walking through. Yes, you have that speed as a Neon, but clearly it's not enough.
Yeah, it's really tough. There's the slow orb and the nade. That is classic combo that you control the mid. And King Coin feels the power. Monstrum getting that vent control, but Machina takes out this lurking Cypher. That could be really, really tough if the Cypher gets too much control on that A. It's really, really hard, but Machina just taking care of that is huge for Finest. Heat, 3 players left.
And Flash is gonna come out, trying to push onto Heaven. They do get some space out of it, even gonna be able to tag a couple of players, and Knife gets destroyed right away. We saw yesterday with that operator. Still think about it to today. I watched that video like 10 times. Yasin, however, fully aware that they might be wrapping around, does find initial contact with Monstrum. Gonna be able to give that information away. The crossfire has been set up, so they're gonna be trading. Now Machina and Blanca are gonna have to come through with those rotations. Full line's gonna be put up. Not gonna connect with anyone as of yet. Machina does have the operator, so wants to make that work. But you have that up-down on B, and that's a pretty standard one. It's gonna be difficult for them to peek this.
It's really hard setup on this backside. If they peek one by one, it's not gonna be good for Finest and Machine looking to do that.
Ooh, they actually take out Waddle. Waddle takes out Machine, has only one left, and Echoes takes a second pick. That's a round once again tied up 8-8. I was really looking forward to 7-11. We've seen it multiple times yesterday, but I guess this time you said it was going to be much closer, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm surprised of Heat's ability to bring back these rounds. This was a 3 versus 5. It looked like there was no chance going into this B side where it's 3 players, but Heat actually playing it really well. 2 players getting that CT, getting picked from CT is really good, and 2 players pushing up there, but actually having that 1 player in heaven focusing up on the backside is so good. Yeah, backside gets 1 kill, but it's instantly traded after that. Finest. It's gonna get caught by that dagger.
Ooh. They're gonna be actually detecting 4 out of their 5 players. They know it's gonna be an eco round. They know they want to be clumped together onto one area, so it's gonna give them some sense of security in terms of moving on, and that's exactly what they did. The Machina taken out of the picture. They know every single member was mid, so that gives them free dibs onto site.
Yeah,
Neural Theft is gonna even further solidify this as well with the flash. It's gonna give me the ability to take that pick out on ramps. They don't need to, they've already planted the spike, only 2 members remaining. Gonna be going through for that peek, and Bunker with the frenzy. He's gonna have a lot to do, a mountain to climb if he wants to make this work, and as he's trying to get out of vents, gets spotted right away. The team meeting gets called, and he gets pushed off the ship.
That is good reaction from Heat. Getting so much information in mail with that dagger allows them to push up on the A side. Remote being already there, sneaking up through the ramps is really key of that round. Yeah, Finest had the worst buy, they had pistols in that round, but still, that is so good. That allows Heat to instantly rotate through the sewers to that A side and clear up everything. Remo actually getting that 1 pick, and Neural Theft just solidifying that round. Look at Machine. This is the classic chamber.
It's gonna go back to safety. No one pushing up as of yet. And again, this fight for mid, it's happening time and time again. Every single one of these teams wants that mid control. Just not really working out as they might have expected. Ramoy is gonna tag a player himself. Position of Yasin is gonna be revealed. It's gonna give them some sense of security in terms of how many players they could be expecting onto a site. And that's you and popping that overdrive, absolutely zooming through. The operator shot isn't going to quite connect. Destructive, however, is going to be able to take that monster, but he has that ult available. He's going to be able to come through with that res, and that's exactly what Waddle is going to be able to do for the team. They've lost 1 player, but they haven't really kept eyes on Yasin. He's going to be able to get 1, but that's all he's going to be getting for tonight. And then Ramoy finishing off the round quite strongly. Double digits secured for Heat.
Wow, that neon is really hard. Machine doesn't quite connect with the operator on that neon. Look at this. His hands are hot. Getting destructive right there as well. Yeah, Yasin trading, and Yasin actually playing a really good play through that smoke. It's really aggressive. You can get caught easily, but perfect timing for Yasin. Doesn't quite connect onto Waddle, but that could have been a whole different round if he does. And he just finishing it up with the perfect peek. 2 players peeking the exact same position. Remoy instantly able to trade that frag. Machina, Tour de Force is available, and Echoes is holding for this push.
Okay, Tour de Force. Take away the operator, and you have the Tour de Force. And that's exactly what Machina is trying to look forward to. But Kiri and Waddle, they got their picks of their own. 2 players already down from the side of Finest. There's an eco round coming in with a lesser buy. So just looking to do some form of economic damage to Heat in any way they can. No one's speaking.
Machina.
They don't want to peek Machina.
Yeah, Machina can't really push further. His rendezvous is ending right here. Doesn't quite connect. Doesn't quite connect that.
That's the ult. Doesn't connect either. He's gone to safety. The relay bolt, however, does. But you know what? If Ramoy clicks your head before the animation comes through, you're out of the game anyway. It's gonna be put down. Now Destructive and Bunker, but that's just bullying. They're throwing
So
everything at the one player.
left.
I would not want to be in that position. Destructive, however, is positioning. He's wrapped around. There is a Cypher
Spike planted.
tripwire. Can you... Yeah, he's gonna have to destroy that. He's not gonna be able to jump over it. Position revealed. Paranoia come through. Does find one. That's a win for Heet. 11-8. They're getting closer to that win. 1 round for match point. And this time around, however, Finest, they're gonna be able to put out some sort of fight.
Yeah, it's surprising. Heet actually, all of a sudden, getting those 11 rounds. I felt like it was just like, what, a minute ago that it was 8-8. Now Heet actually leading 11-8. 1 round away from that match point. Machina, once again with that operator, hasn't been quite able to connect those shots in the last 2 rounds. Once again, aggression coming into A lobby. Remoy holding with Monstrum.
Ooh, aggression punished right away, but that nade though! He's like, I'm gonna take one down with me. That's exactly what he did. Machina with the operator, finding a pick himself. There's already members lost across the board. Echo's coming through vents, looking to find something. It's not gonna work quite out, but Kicks, he's not been spotted out yet. He's been able to hide behind the barrier orb. He's gonna throw down a slow orb, but he's gonna be coming through. Monstrum does have the spike, but he has a lot of work to do if he wants to get it down. 1 minute on the clock, 2 members remaining. It's a 2v3. We've seen them come back from worse. This time around, they're spread. They're spread across the map.
Yeah, maybe Echoes is allowing Monstrum to go freely on A side. No, Echoes actually sneaking up on the flank. Look at Kicks. It looks like Kicks has some sense of this flank. Kicks maybe knows, but no. Actually turning into heaven. And Echoes might have the perfect timing. Monstrum, if he can stay alive for just a few seconds more.
The res is gonna come through. It was supposed to be a bait, but it doesn't work out that way. If anything, you're baiting the rest of your team, and now 4 members just dropped in the blink of an eye. 1 left. Spike is down. Post-plant positions are secured. Destructive has a lot to do.
This could be too much for Destructive. Echoes, Monstrum, they don't really know the position of Destructive, but look at this, just sitting in smokes. Echoes is timing it perfectly. Echoes! This round was huge for him. Just getting the perfect timing, sneaking all the way through from B heaven, going behind that res and getting those 2 kills was huge, allowing Monstrum to get the res as well. And Heet, all of a sudden, they are on match point. And right, that was perfect round. Seeing how experienced Echoes is, how he knows these timings and what the enemy is gonna go for. Wow,
Absolute beautiful performance. And you said it yourself, MP. You're bringing a player that has so much experience in a lot of different pressure situations, and you're throwing him into the mix with these players that are individually quite good players themselves. They're good at what they do. And this is what you get.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on that round you had a little bit of luck in the round as well.
No, it's just timing. It's not luck.
Yeah,
there is no luck in
just
VALORANT.
Knowing. No luck. Echoes, just being so good player. Check him PC. Knows too much.
Stream sniping? Question mark?
Destructive. Trying to hold this side down.
Oh, Kicks with his back turned to the members of Heat. It's gonna fall down right away. They're not even going through heaven, so that Judge and Mail is not gonna be paying off. The Thunder is gonna be, Rolling Thunder is gonna be coming through, pushing members even further away. Ramoy found another member. Machina with the Headhunter is gonna be able to take out Waddle, but his util has already been used and it's already put down so much pressure on the map. That's a loss that they're willing to take. Now Machina in a 1v3, Spectre in hand. He has so much to do. And his position is already given away. He does manage to take Ramoy out. 2 more members that he has to be dealing with, but they don't want to peek him. They have the crossfire set up. He's gonna be looking to clear the corner. But Kinguin is on the spike. He was hiding there, and he's gonna find you before you find him. And that's how Heat are gonna be securing map number 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, you're not gonna expect that position. Just crouching in default, there's no way. After the spike is planted, like 10 seconds ago? Yeah, there's no chance it was gonna check that position. Machina, good try on that 1 versus 3 situation, gets the first kill, maybe able to get something done there, but Heet actually looking so good on that attacking side. And as I stated on the first half, when Finest was getting those attack rounds, this seems like Split is actually quite a lot of these, well, I would say these newly formed teams, it's favoring their attacking side and not the defending side that much. From yesterday and from today, from this match, it seems like that is the case, absolutely.
Yeah, the defensive side coming through from the side of Heat wasn't as convincing as we thought it would be, but then you go to the attacking side of things and it's a completely different team. Definitely tell they have warmed up, they're feeling much more comfortable throwing that util, and a lot of things that we've seen time and time again in these rounds is how comfortable Heat has been in playing off of each other's utility. They're not just one person flashing and the other person coming through, it's very much well timed. Even the relay bolt when it's been thrown out, it's not even King Rune that's going to be going for the peak, it's actually Monster most of the times that does so. And we've seen this time and time again, it's really working out in their favor, and they've really been able to kind of just pedal to the metal, push through on that attacking side and secure the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how Heat was coming together in this attacking side. One of the things that I saw from Heat was they had their roles placed perfectly. Every time they push into a site and Kingoyen was checking like here, Kingoyen checking hell, but Monstrum still holding that side corner. There's no chance Destructive is gonna get that kill from side, even though he's peeking straight into Kingoyen, who is looking in hell. But there's still one player looking into default, one player looking into backside. And there's no chance you can just surprise this team when they come together. There were so many times that these players were going as a duo, going as a 4-stack trio, and there was always they were always assigned to a different roles, holding different position, and that is exactly how he played the attacking side. That is exactly how they got so many rounds on the attacking side.
Yeah, MVP is coming through in form of duelist. I think this is generally something we could be expecting. King Aryan was pushing out aggressively every single round, whether it was on the attacking side of things, whether it was on the defensive side of things, and he still made it work for his team. I was a little concerned earlier on when they were on the defensive side, because most of the time, Finest, they were absolutely ready for that. They were genuinely ready for him to be peeking out aggressively and for them to take the trade, which is what happened most of the time. And then when you have kicks available, the Sage, you have that ult come through, you were even able to bring Yasin back to life. And Yasin doing so much with the showstoppers, with the nades, with just positioning in general, it hasn't really worked out for them this time around. They have been able to secure quite a lot of rounds. If anything, you know, we're out here biting our nails thinking this is actually quite a close game. Predictions, am I gonna lose? But all in all, Finest as you know, a team, as a 3 core members that they have, they've genuinely put out quite a solid performance. And I think Heat this time around, they kind of just got the upper hand in terms of that decision making on the fly. I think that's something that really stood out to me personally. And we can talk about that one round when it was a 2v4 scenario with the Sage Res coming through, bringing back Yasin. And Eccles, with the timing, it was just so incredibly perfect. And that wasn't the only time that he's done it throughout this game. So that really shows that experience from one player and how much it can impact the team, especially when it comes through in the form of an IGL.
Yeah, and one of the things, like you brought, that 2 versus 4, there was so many times, I think at least 3 rounds that happened. They were, Heat were down 3 players, but they were able to bring that back. The first pistol round, 2 versus 5, they brought it back. There was a second round, 3 versus 5, they brought it back. And that Echoes round, 2 versus 4, they brought it back. And I think that was one of the weaknesses that Finest had, throwing away rounds that were really, really good looking. And part of it's Finest maybe not playing the best of their abilities in those rounds, but still Heat actually grouping up, making some insane plays. Echoes that's making some insane timings right there. So it's not all about Finest making some mistakes. It's more of Heat bringing some good plays, but also, yeah, there's something that Finest could touch up on those situations that they're leading the rounds.
Yeah, and we're going to be touching up on a little bit of a break, as we'll be back shortly with the second map of this best of 3, and that is going to be Ascent. Yeah. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm right. I have a good memory, guys. We're going to be throwing it to a break. We'll be back shortly.